Brought to you by Penguin.
The Woman in White by Wilkie Collins. Read by Tim McInnerny. Note: if you do not wish to discover the secret of The Woman in White, read this introduction after you have finished the novel. Introduction. Part 1. The Woman in White is generally regarded as the first sensation novel, an enormously influential branch of Victorian fiction which fused the apprehensive thrills of Gothic literature with the psychological realism of the domestic novel, using a high-impact style of narrative that put its characters through a series of extreme mental experiences. Collins and his imitators, writers such as Mary Elizabeth Braddon, Charles Reade, Ellen Wood, and Rhoda Broughton, brought the terrors of the Gothic novel down from mouldering Italian castles and into the back parlours and drawing rooms of a recognisably modern, middle-class Victorian England. Their dark plots, which usually hinged on murder, madness, bigamy, or all three, were hatched in contemporary country manners and on brand-new suburban housing developments. They described an England full of murky possibilities, in which, for instance, a respected baronet might incarcerate his wife in a private lunatic asylum for financial gain, a seemingly virtuous young lady might attempt to kill her husband by pushing him down a well, a newly-wed woman might celebrate her honeymoon by offering her spouse a glass of poisoned lemonade. In fact, just the sort of sensational crimes that captivated the readers of popular penny newspapers. Behind the closed doors of undistinguished British households, the genre suggested, all manner of criminality, misery, and insanity might be concealed. As Henry James commented, "To Mr. Collins belongs the credit of having introduced into fiction those most mysterious of mysteries, the mysteries which are at our own doors." Collins had a different phrase, the secret theatre of home, on whose stage sinister family dramas were played out. In his fictions, the domestic sphere is rarely a reassuring environment. It is characterized by the threat of violence, criminality, or the attack of physical and mental illness. His novels are rich with troubling households. The Woman in White assembles a dubious aristocrat, an obese Italian count with a passion for white mice, vanilla bonbons and poison, an effeminate hypochondriac, and a moustached lady. Poor Miss Finch, 1872, gathers together under one roof the French widow of a South American revolutionary, a blind heroine, a brutish German oculist, and a pair of identical twins, one of whom has turned himself blue by drinking silver nitrate. The Law and the Lady, 1875, offers a disconcerting relationship between a cross-dressed female servant and her legless master, who, when not leaping about on his hands, is careering around in his wheelchair, claiming to be Napoleon and Shakespeare. For the protagonists of The Woman in White, home is a place where you fall ill and risk being murdered or driven insane. Collins and his fellow sensationists remapped the knowable communities within which writers such as George Eliot, Elizabeth Gaskell, and Margaret Oliphant plotted their fictions as territories that were unknowable or at least dangerous to know. Their readers found this both alarming and exhilarating. The rise of the sensation novel was intimately connected with the development of Victorian consumer culture, a shift in social and economic behaviour that brought about the near industrialisation of pleasure. More novels were published than ever before. The appetite for gadgetry and consumer goods generated by the Great Exhibition of 1851 continued to grow. Public shows became bigger, more grandiose affairs, backed up by publicity campaigns in the national press. The sensation novel found willing readers in a Victorian public hungry for large-scale spectacular entertainments. While novels such as The Woman in White, Braddon's Lady Audley's Secret, 1862, and Wood's East Lynne, 1861, did smart business at the circulating libraries, audiences flocked to have their nerves pleasurably jangled by sensational public spectacles. New technologies of entertainment, zoetropes, panoramas, dioramas, neoramas, nausoramas, physioramas, offered the paying public new visual sensations and the realization that their subjectivities could be manipulated to disorientating and satisfying effect. The French acrobat Blondin made
Sample complete. Ready to continue?